Another beautiful day here in northern Colorado. Loving it. I'm loving it. Although it's a little bit windy, still good time to get outside and get some movement in. I hope you're having a great week so far. Focusing on your habits, right? Focusing on your habits. How are you serving your health every day? How are you tending to it? Are you living in prevention? This is so important to shift this way we think about our health instead of waiting until some kind of signal comes up to go to the doctor. We have to start thinking about how we are tending to our health every day. And that means sleep, right? So how much sleep am I getting? Making sure that you're setting yourself up for good sleep with good sleep hygiene. We've talked about that here on the show so much, but that entails making sure, you know what you put in your body before you get ready for sleep. You have a routine, right? You have a place, you have your bedroom set up for good sleep. You don't use screens right before you go to bed. There's all these little components to it. To creating good sleep habits, but also your nutrition, right? What am I putting in my body? Am I buying from my adversaries that actually create foods and products that make me sick? Am I giving into convenience and putting this stuff in my body? Or am I being purposeful with my choices and my habits and putting things into my body that curate health? That help me feel better on a daily basis? Am I moving enough, right? So all of these things that go in every day, and I just want to encourage you because you're not alone. We all have to do it. We all have to do it, right? We all have to do it. We're all these owners of these bodies. We gotta maintain them. We gotta live in prevention. That also includes not poisoning yourself. Right? What is the end in mind? If you're taking on a medication as a last resort, which many people have to do, then what is the end in mind? How are you going to get off that medication? How are you going to help the body heal so that you can separate yourself from the pharma model? All things to think about. And that's what we have to be diligent about as we live in prevention. Every single day, we're living in prevention. And the idea is to build the lifestyle that we want so that it's not something we have to do begrudgingly. It's something we enjoy. And I can assure you, I love my lifestyle. I get up in the morning, I get outside, there's light, there's animals, I move, I make delicious food. I mean, it's a wonderful lifestyle. I'm not begrudging it. I haven't begrudged movement, exercise, nutrition for decades now. It's only in the beginning where you have to make changes where you feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. So I just want to encourage you, if you're thinking about making changes, today's the day. You can start small and you can start today. I have a wonderful show for you today. Lots of things lined up. First of all, Children's Health Defense had a new story out today. Did you know that the DOJ, your DOJ lawyers, committed fraud in a vax injury case? And this is a big one. This is a really big one because the fraud was that this expert witness testified that he concluded, vaccines do not cause autism, but then retracted his testimony and ceased to be the expert witness any longer because of a person that he was in contact with, that he worked with, whose child clearly regressed after getting vaccinations into autism. So that triggered him to say, oh man, I actually saw this happen and I can no longer be your expert witness that says that vaccines do not cause autism. So interesting story that we'll cover at the top of the hour. And then this one's going to get you. I tell you, it got me. Like we need any more proof, right? I mean, I think we're all pretty much on the same page here. We know that this so-called virus was man-made, that it leaked from the lab, gain of function research, all that stuff. But as if you needed any more proof, there was a Freedom of Information Act filed and some emails from 2018 came out, and they revealed that the gain of function was taking place in the lab And these emails leave nothing to guess at. I mean, this is back in 2018 involving Ralph Barrick, which is the scientist at the heart of the lab leak, and Peter Daszak, of course, the NGO of EcoHealth Alliance. And it's their discussion of how they're going to get nanoparticles and SARS glycoproteins into bats. They're talking about it in the email chain. So the question is anything going to happen? I don't know. It seems like we're living in complete lawlessness. But the point is, we share this information with more people and we change minds, right? We help people understand, hey, maybe I should question government mandates. Hey, maybe I shouldn't just go along to get along here. It might be actually super harmful to me if I do that. And that's the kind of information that we have to expose to other people. So we'll cover that. And then, do you remember Dr. Geert Vanden Bosch? He's been out there, very outspoken, very early on. He has a message about crimes against humanity and just the large scale experiment that's been conducted on us as a global population. And he's speaking to that and clinging to truth and counting on truth, that truth will definitely end up coming out in the end. So it's a great clip. And then at the bottom of the hour, I have a very special guest with us today. He is from the Survival University. Jason from the Survival University is joining us up here in Cripple Creek, Colorado. My son attended the Survival University a couple years back. Absolutely loved it, but that's my son's jam, big time. He loves all that kind of stuff. So we invited him on. He's going to talk to us about what he's doing. So important. We get a lot of questions about survival stuff. And so Jason, I think, will be awesome to answer some of those questions and just learn more about the Survival University. I know a lot of people are freaking out right now because of the upcoming eclipse, I say, don't panic, but prepare. Because, a lot of these dates have come and gone, right? There's been, this date, and now this is going to happen. Now that's going to happen. And sometimes things happen and sometimes they don't, right? But just like our health, we have to be living in preparedness. We have to be prepared because you never know what could go on. And I'm not a big predictor of things, but I am a preparer. I like to be prepared, and so should you. So Jason will bring some wonderful insight to that for us with the Survival University. All that and more today on Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm so glad you're here. Stay tuned. Did you know that 6 in 10 Americans are suffering with chronic disease? Join us for an enriching experience featuring esteemed speakers such as the High Wire's Del Bigtree, renowned farmer Joel Salatin, medical rebel Dr. Lee Merritt, pioneering naturopath Dr. Henry Ely, and many more. With a diverse lineup of over 15 speakers, 55 vendor booths, and an anticipated 1,500 attendees, this summit is your gateway to authentic solutions for healthier living. Don't let this chance slip by. To enhance your journey towards well-being, discover healthier solutions, and connect with like-minded individuals. Get your tickets now for June 1st at the Scenic Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. Call or text 970-475-4083. That's 970-475-4083. Or visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com.
Have a comment or a question for Tammy? Call or text her at 877-536-1360. That's 877-536-1360.
I don't know if you know this, but Jason and I here at Naturally Inspired are the king and queen of pivoting. I have to share with you, I got kicked off of YouTube again yesterday. You know, we keep retrying to get back on. We keep retrying, like, hey, maybe they'll like us now. Hey, maybe we can. So we're kind of that's just our mentality. We don't give up. We just don't. It's not in us. So we tried to post something on YouTube yesterday. And of course it got booted off. So here's how you can help us. All right. I want you to know that we are so dedicated to this issue. We have to do this. We have to do this. We are in such danger in our country with our health. Our children are sick. Chronic disease is exploding. If we don't change this medical model, I shudder to think what will happen. I won't even let my brain go there, actually, because it's so devastating to think of where our health is going on this path. So here's how you can help us. Number one, we're having a Naturally Inspired Health Summit, June 1st in Loveland, Colorado. You can purchase tickets at naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com. You can partake in the VIP section. That gets you coffee and water service throughout the day. You get reserved seating. You're sitting up front. It's a bougie place to be. I would be there if I was attending in that capacity. You can buy a table for your business, for your nonprofit, for your group of people that, you all want to sit together and you want to represent something. So you're going to put a sign on the table to show your support for this community. Or you can buy a general admission ticket, which is fabulous. I mean, we appreciate you. We're so grateful. We have put thousands of hours into Naturally Inspired, thousands of hours to bring this community together, right? To bring us together for real solutions for health. The way we win this is we purchase from each other. It's really what we have to do. We have to stop buying from our adversaries that are contributing to our demise. And we have to start buying from our community members and from people who believe in the same message we do, which is that there are real solutions for health, right? And that we want to tap out of this corporate government collusion model. So attend the Health Summit. Also, we have a shop support tab on naturallyinspiredradio.com. When you go there, there are several products that we recommend promote. Right now, I'm in love with the collagen product just because it is working so well for me these days. I've improved my range of motion, seen improvement in my hair, my skin, my nails, my joints. I can't rave enough about it. And when you purchase from there, you support the Naturally Inspired movement as well. Also, any of the other products on there support the Naturally Inspired message. You can sign up for the newsletter. That just helps you share our message with other people when you're informed about what we're doing. You can sign up for my Substack. That's another way. I am putting out health tips and different information about health and how you can improve your health all the time. So you can sign up for that there. Or, you can just like and share our stuff on social media. Because, like I just explained, we are highly censored on places like YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. This morning, I can't even get into my notifications on Twitter. I don't know why. This kind of censorship just continues. So you could help us just by sharing our content, saying, hey, I got 25 people on my email list of my friends and family. I really like this show. I want to share with you. That would help tremendously, help spread the message in any way possible. That is the main thing with Naturally Inspired, is spreading the message. The more people who understand there are real solutions for health that do not involve toxifying your body through chemicals or cutting things off your body, if not necessary, the better. That's when people start shifting the way they buy. And that is how we win this. So visit naturallyinspiredradio.com today and get connected to this community because we want you here. And we're so grateful if you already are. Okay, top story today. I want to talk about this children's health defense story. So shocking cover-up. Is it shocking? I don't know. Your government is lying to you. Is that a shock? It isn't to me, but maybe it still is to some other people. So, shocking cover-up. Department of Justice lawyers committed fraud in vaccine injury case. So, Children's Health Attorney alleges in motion filed today. Alleges, I guess I should say that. But he's got some good evidence here. So, Rolf Hazelhurst is a Children's Health Events staff attorney and father of a son diagnosed with autism. People, these are the people who you want fighting with us. They got skin in the game. You know, when you got this kind of skin in the game, there's no giving up. So today he filed a motion in federal court alleging lawyers representing the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services fraudulently concealed and misrepresented evidence that vaccines can cause autism. Whoa. Like when this thing blows, because it's going to, it's way too many people. I have clients now all the time coming to me, asking me about vaccines, how they can get out of them, where do they research, show me the evidence, show me the data. I mean, there are more people now questioning injections than ever before. And that, I guess, is maybe the silver lining in COVID, I guess, if there is one. Anyway, some key points here. So what Hazelhurst alleges was a shocking cover-up. Instead of allowing this expert witness named Andrew Zimmerman, he was the government's witness that kept saying, no, here's the evidence. Vaccines don't cause autism. They don't cause autism. Said this for a long, long time. And then shockingly, he reversed his original opinion and determined that vaccines can and do cause autism in some cases. And guess what happened? They fired him as their expert witness. Yeah, so they fired him, and he just conveniently didn't do the expert stuff anymore. However, the DOJ kept using his previous expert opinions. So what Hazelhurst alleges was a shocking cover-up. Instead of allowing Zimmerman to share his revised opinion, the DOJ attorneys relieved Zimmerman of his duties as a witness. And they continued to use excerpts from his unamended written opinion to make their case that vaccines did not cause autism. So they misrepresented his position, and by doing that, they frauded the court. So as a result, thousands of cases in the omnibus autism proceeding were denied compensation, and the impact beyond is enormous. This fraud affected the vaccine injury compensation program. If you don't know, we have our own compensation court, the vaccine court, that deals with all compensation cases for vaccine injury. So you don't go to regular court. And that is because vaccines have no liability. They cut that deal in 1986. So they can't be held responsible. So they set up this other kangaroo court. I didn't say that, but I did. They set up this other sham court, so-called court, that only gets decided upon based on a table that they've predetermined that they'll pay out for. So maybe you have a vaccine injury, you file a complaint. You can only file complaints given that are listed on this specific table, like shoulder injury, stuff like that. Okay, so he's saying that this fraud affected vaccine injury compensation program, especially the omnibus autism proceeding, the Court of Federal Claims, the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, and even the Supreme Court. So let's keep our eye on this, because this is pretty big. This is pretty big. And I tell you, I pray for all the families all the time. My child was vaccine injured, obviously thrombocytopenia. He recovered, but I am so aware that so many other families were not as lucky. And I pray for them every day, because they are living in hell. Not only are they dealing with the needs of their children, but they deal with, the machine of big pharma that refuses to acknowledge the injury. Horrible. Horrible. Next up is if you needed more evidence, but your government's lying to you about the origins of COVID-19 as well. And some more proof has surfaced through a Freedom of Information Act that clearly, this email exchange. You probably remember Ralph Barrick? He was the scientist at the heart of the lab leak, right? And Peter Daszak, of course, he's the non-governmental organization head of EcoHealth Alliance. These guys were conducting, that's how the government does things, right? They want to do something illegal. They don't want to do it. So they pay an NGO to do it. Right? They can't spread propaganda around, themselves. So they pay other countries to leak out propaganda media stories. That's how they do it, right? They can't. Oh, there's loopholes, right? We didn't do it. We paid someone else to do it. Same kind of paradigm when you think about the vaccine mandates themselves, right? Oh, we can't pin you down and force you to take a vaccine, but we can apply pressure on your employer, who will have to be shut down if they don't comply, and we can make them mandate you to take the shots. They're so slimy, Ugh, it's just disgusting. But anyway, that's how they set things up. And there's proof in these emails where they're talking about it. Here's one of them. It says, "Hi, Ralph. I have a couple of questions about SARS-CoV spike glycoproteins you are developing with respect to the DARPA grant we are collaborating on." What? I thought there was no gain of function. This is 2018. These emails are from 2018. And then they talk about the nanoparticle on June 5th, 2018. This is an employee involved. Her name is Tony Rock. She says, "This is the info from Ralph Barrick on the nanoparticle work he's been involved in." Well, that's weird. I thought they weren't involved in any gain of function. Yeah. So again, there's so much evidence now. There's so much evidence. I mean, for crying out loud, if you still think this thing came from, is there anybody on the planet that still thinks this thing came from a bat in a wet market accidentally? Is there? I think there might be one or two. There might be one or two, but let's hope not. Let's hope not. Geert Vander Bosch is, pointing out to even more of that. As I'll play for you in this quick clip. He's just saying, hang in there. Because, aren't we all exhausted? But hang in there because the truth is coming. Take a listen. This is Dr. Geert Vander Bosch.
Being together, they feel protected. This is a big lobby. This is a big lobby, and they think that everybody thinks that the other will protect them, right? Which is not the case. But this is this typical feeling. You all have committed crimes, but you are a big group, and it's like the mafia. And you feel all together. You feel like a big team, and nobody can penetrate into the team, etc. It will collapse because the truth will surface. This has been a large scale experiment of gain of function on the very human population. This is something that will be reported in history for many, many generations to come, much longer than the talks that have taken place after World War I and World War II, etc.
I know we're not allowed to make comparisons. The woke cult will come charging after you if you start making comparisons, but I've been doing it anyway. You know why? Because it's crimes against humanity, and we haven't even begun to see the damage of this experiment. Like he says, this was a large-scale experiment on human beings, and there almost isn't a day now that goes by that I don't get a text or an email asking for help about cancer, about strokes, about tumors, about seizures. It's coming. The truth will come. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Jason from the Survival University will be joining us shortly. You do not want to miss this. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that over 40 million adults in the United States suffer from anxiety? Renew Remedy understands the struggles of anxiety, depression, PTSD, insomnia, and addiction. That's why we offer natural solutions to help you find peace and balance in your life. Call 970-966-8419. That's 970-966-8419 to learn more about our special offer or visit renewremedy.com.
Oh yeah, what a night.
I refuse to let these demons steal my joy. I tell you, they are trying hard, but they ain't going to do it. They are not going to do it. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com. When you're there, make sure that you get signed up for the newsletter and get signed up for the Substack and all of that good stuff. We're so glad that you're part of our community. Listen, the Survival University, I'm talking to Jason Marsteiner today. And the Survival University was forged in the fire of survival. Founded in 2015 by Colorado Mountain Man Survival, LLC, the journey began in 2010 when Jason created Colorado Mountain Man Survival as a part-time consulting service. I don't think he knew what he was getting into. Part-time. That's funny because I know what's happened. So it was just a part-time consulting service that he started. He wanted to help people build survival kits for their homes and vehicles. He was teaching them how to use all of the items in the kits, and the demand for his expertise grew with each passing day. By 2015, Jason had become a full-time survival instructor, taking people out into the woods to teach them the ways of survival beyond the confines of their urban lives, which we so desperately need. Jason, I'm really excited to talk to you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's Cripple Creek today?
I don't know. I'm not up in Cripple Creek. I actually live down in Colorado Springs. We just run our classes up in the mountains.
Oh, okay. Well, when we took our son up there, and he had a fantastic time. And I thought Cripple Creek was just absolutely gorgeous. That's the only time I've been there. It is so beautiful up there.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely beautiful. That's where I grew up. Was up there. We moved into Cripple Creek in the mid '80s when I was in the fourth grade. I graduated from Cripple Creek. We had a house in town, but my parents had bought 10 acres worth of land about a mile north of Cripple Creek as a crow flies, and that's where I run my classes.
Awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the survival industry and helping people learn this skill set. What propelled you in this direction?
Well, my story on how I got going is really kind of silly. As you know, I did grow up in Cripple Creek, and what everybody is calling survival and prepping or emergency preparedness or whatever the name they want to put on it these days is just the way of life when you're living in a small mountain town. But anyways, I worked IT. I'm a computer geek. In 2010, one of my coworkers, who's Mormon, came into work one day carrying a couple buckets full of food, and he's like, "Hey, this food is from my 72-hour kit, my bug-out bag. It's about ready to expire. Will you help me eat it?" And I was like, what the heck is a survival kit or a 72-hour kit and a bug-out bag? And he started explaining it to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I've got one of those. I just didn't know how to name." So I started looking on the internet, and these survival kits are all over the place. And I was like, well, these people are professionals selling these kits. They must know more than me, so I'm going to order some of these kits to supplement what I have. I was married at the time and kids, so I ordered several kits, and they all came to me in the mail. And everything that came to me was garbage, broken stuff that didn't work, stuff that I felt was not useful. So anyways, the long story short, I built a better bug out bag and started selling it on eBay. And they were selling like hotcakes. My bottom line kit was like $500. Anyways, all these people that were buying these kits from me were contacting me through email or phone or whatever and saying, hey, I bought this kit from you. It's super cool, has all this great stuff in it, but I have no idea how to use any of it. So
typical.
So for that's how I started out consulting for the first 5 years. I was just trying to help people through emails to try to explain to them how to use this stuff. And finally, one day after about 5 years, somebody goes, I don't get it. I don't learn this way. I don't understand. Can I just pay you to take me out into the woods and show me how to use this stuff? So that's how it was initially born. I went out and took an instructor training school in 2014. I was picked up by that company because I breezed through their training, and then I became a satellite school from them from about 2015 to 2018. Me and the owner of that school didn't see eye to eye, so I broke off from them, and that's when the Survival University was kind of born and really kind of started moving forward. It was roughly about 2018, but I had started it really in 2015. At that time, I realized, I know your core skills, your food, fire, shelter, water, how not to die, mental strength, mental fortitude, how to push yourself through a bad situation. So I was teaching those core skills. All the students that were coming in wanted to learn more. They wanted the medical program. They wanted navigation. They wanted plant medicine. They wanted foraging and all this stuff that I was okay at, but not really good enough, I felt, to teach. Mm-hmm. So I started kind of scouring the country to find really good instructors that were experts in those specific fields. So now, for 8 years, it was just me. Roughly 2018, 2019, I started gathering people, but now I've got 20 people that work with me from all over the country. We do Costa Rica trips also, but, we're doing medical programs, real navigation programs, austere cooking. So you think about me working in IT, growing up doing this stuff, and now we're training all these people from all the country with a solid team, and we're even to the point where we're training military special forces.
Wow, that's
so all
amazing.
That from a bucket full of food,
Yeah, I loved on your website that you wrote, survival skills are techniques and practices that are used to ensure basic needs are met in emergency or wilderness situations. And I loved kind of that definition of survival skills because that makes sense, right? A lot of times people hear the word prepper or they hear survivalist or whatever, and it's intimidating. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. They picture that they have to be this warrior type. So what kind of person can benefit from survival skills?
Well, really, anybody can. What we do is, I'm trying to take the scary out of survival. You figure I come from the IT world, and I just grew up in a small mountain town. The majority of my clients, the majority of the people that come out to my classes or all the classes we teach are entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, people in the financial industry, people that have the time to go out into the mountains, backcountry in Colorado or wherever they're from, and go play, and they're realizing that they don't know what to do when something goes wrong. And everything that we teach out there really rolls over into everyday life. You can use it. These skills aren't just for the mountains, for the backcountry. It teaches you what do you need in your house should something go wrong? But there's a huge amount of mental training in what we do. It makes it so when you are outside of your safety bubble of your house, you're more aware of your surroundings. You're more aware of what you need to take out with you. But, I'm rambling. But yeah, anybody, these classes benefit anybody. And that's,
when we come back,
most of my clients are those.
Let's take a short break with Jason from the Survival University. I want to talk a little bit more about that mental training, because I wonder how many people, sabotage themselves just because their mental aptitude isn't there. We'll be right back. Right. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio, and we'll be back with the Survival University in just a minute. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia from Naturally Inspired Nutrition. We can help you build a lifestyle, not a diet. Together, we will discover unlocking your food stories, building a food philosophy, eating food for medicine. We'll use a simple swap system. We will use an easy transformation system, and there'll be no more diets necessary. Naturally Inspired Nutrition, helping people feel good so they can do what they love for longer. Get more information or book today at naturallyinspirednutrition.com.
Have a comment or a question for Tammy? Call or text her at 877-536-1360. That's 877-536-1360.
We are talking to Jason with the Survival University, and the website is thesurvivaluniversity.com. Easy. thesurvivaluniversity.com. Phone number is 719-684-4147. That's 719-684-4147. Survival University offers a ton of classes. And the one thing that really stood out for me when I was browsing the website was how affordable it is. Like some of these classes that I take for learning about herbs, for learning about natural health remedies, they cost me thousands of dollars. And, he has his pricing is so reasonable. I was really like, wow, this is really affordable. So head over to the survivaluniversity.com for more information. Jason, let's get back into that mental part you were talking about, because this is so specific to like what is happening and has been happening over the last 4.5 years, right? There's this mental component. And I firmly believe this, okay, that you kind of bring on and can exasperate your symptoms that you get if you're expecting it, if you're fearful of it, if you're worrying about it. I've seen it. I've seen people, just go right into full kind of symptomology because they're thinking about it. And so to deny that component of this in the survival capacity is, you're doing yourself a disservice, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many different avenues we could go down in the mental training that happens out at our camp. But really, if we're going to go just into the adventure side of the house, when you're out adventuring, there's always those what ifs in the back of people's minds. What if I get stranded? What if I don't have enough food? What if I get attacked by a bear? What if, something happens? With our classes, we teach you what to do with those what ifs so that you can just relax and enjoy what you got going on out there. You don't have to fear everything, all those bumps in the night, so you don't have to worry. But it also, it also helps with the anxiety that people are feeling around, the COVID and everything getting shut down and people being locked away in their houses. And when all that happened and the state of Colorado shut down and you weren't allowed to go visit national parks or all that, I refused. You can't get more secluded and isolated than being out in the mountains, right? So really, I encourage people to come out. It gave people something to do outside of whatever, being locked in their homes. And but yeah, it developed. If you continue on with this, I mean, my typical class is a 5-day class, and we go over food, fire, shelter, water, and it helps you become more comfortable out in the woods. Now, just with a 5-day class, you're not going to become a sudden pro and a master of the mountains or a master of your mind. But if you continue exercising that muscle of not living fear-based or whatever you want to call it, you become stronger. You become a leader. You empower yourself. There's just so many different avenues we can go down on that mental fortitude, that mental training. If I can teach you the skills that you can live off the land with nothing but a knife, then everything else just becomes minuscule.
Yes.
I have a 50-day class where people come spend 50 full days out in the woods with me, living under a tarp shelter with minimal gear. And every single person that's gone through that program has pulled me aside at the end of the class and said, or weeks or months later after they finished the class and said, hey, all the hard skills, the training was wonderful, but that mental training, you've changed my life, because everything that was overwhelming before, everything that was bothering me in my life before, is really unimportant now. I realize that they realized that they were putting all this energy, this negative energy, into something that really didn't matter. And they stopped focusing on those things and started focusing on the things that were important, truly important in their life. And everybody's different. What's important to them.
That's beautiful. What a way to go through a therapy session, Right. Let's talk a little bit about some of the classes, because, and I just want to say too, like, I've been to the camp at Cripple Creek, and these structures that Jason teaches you how to build are absolutely phenomenal. Like, they are impressive. They are so impressive. But you mentioned the 50-day class, but you also have stuff for youth and teens. And just run through some of the stuff that you have as an offering.
Okay. So we'll start with the kids classes. We only run 3 kids classes a year. We've got I shouldn't call them kids classes. They're family classes. The kids come in we pay for the kids. The parents come in for free. So you're learning alongside your child, and we encourage you to do that. We want you to do that. It's kind of a family bonding class. So we have three different family classes. If your children are comfortable working with an adult, then they can also come to the adult classes, but sometimes they can't perform all the tasks in those classes. But we have, like I said, we've got the food, fire, shelter, your core skills, but we also have women's programs. We have a yoga class that's new for the year that is you also learn some survival skills, but it's in a different method. I've got a yoga instructor and a different primitive skills instructor that comes in for that. I've got a navigation class. My instructor for that is a former ranger that taught navigation to rangers in ranger school, so he's really good at that. I've got a former Navy corpsman that does a medical program. I've got a mushroom foraging class. I've got plant foraging, plant identification classes. We've got a plant medicine class. So if you want to learn how to walk around in down your favorite mountain trail and harvest stuff on the trail and turn that into natural medicines, we have a class for that. We got our core location, which is about 80 acres of my private land that we run our beginner and intermediate classes, and it's in an established camp. We got everything you need. A lot of people get worried when they hear survival, so I tell them it's survival training. It's not actually survival, but we're in an established camp to run these classes. And then we have our advanced location, which is about 30 minutes drive, which is about 4,500 acres of private land that we also run classes on. So we're all on private land running these classes in a beautiful, mountains of Colorado. But I think we have right now 60 classes on the books with 20 instructors.
And we will get some more details in our last segment with Jason from the Survival University. Stay tuned. You've been listening to Naturally Inspired Radio, and we're so glad you're here.
Are you looking for a simple, powerful way to boost your health and wellness? Gruska C60 oral supplement detoxifies your body at the cellular level, supporting brain, muscles, joints, organs, and nerve function. Joe's been taking C60 in sunflower oil for 6 months, and it improved his chronic joint pain and inflammation. Visit c-60.com or call 720-600-6040. Tell them Naturally Inspired Radio sent you.
I don't know. Are these really survival skills or are they really life skills? You know, when I think back in history, our ancestors and even Jason here describing living in Cripple Creek, growing up there, you know, when I drove through there, it's like, you know, dirt roads, gravel roads. There's like bus stops, like very sparse. You know, you adapt to your surroundings. And unfortunately, we've adapted to this super convenience-based model in our lifetime, and that has made us completely dependent on entities that don't have our best interest in mind. And so one of the ways that we can kind of take back our power is to arm ourselves with the proper skill set. TheSurvivalUniversity.com. So TheSurvivalUniversity.com. Phone number is 719-684-4147. And we were just cut off there at the last break. Jason, let's talk. I think I heard you say you have over 60 classes available for people.
Yeah, that's right. We've got 60 classes. And you were talking about these being life skills. They're absolutely life skills. And the biggest thing is if you want to strengthen your mind, people just need to step outside of their comfort zone.
Yes.
And this is one of the biggest things that we do out there. We are teaching you the hard skills, but just stepping out of your comfort zone is going to excel you in life. But yeah, 60 classes roughly, and we're adding more still for the year. But like I said, if you want to learn it, we probably have a class that will teach it to you.
Yeah, I was really, a few of the titles caught my interest for sure. The Hunt, Gather, Cook class. Can you tell me a little bit more about that specifically? What can someone expect when they show up at Cripple Creek at your site? What can they kind of expect? Because I think, you know, you're right. There's a little bit of fear there. Can I do this? Whatever. But what we found with our son's experience is that he was fully supported, but super excited about, you know, he created his own fire. You know, this was so exciting for him. Yes.
So that Hunt, Gather, Cook is actually like a subcategory, and if you drill down within there, there's multiple classes. The one that pops out in my mind is our austere cooking class, and we actually teach you how to farm to table. We'll teach you how to, if you are hunter or new into hunting and you don't know how to process an animal, we teach you how to do that and how to cook it over a campfire and use as much of that animal as possible so you can feed as many people as possible. There's foraging classes, so you can go forage for wild edible plants, campfire cooking classes, things like that.
Oh, yeah. That's just it. If you have a guide that's going to support you as you're learning it, you know, that's the key to getting out there. But also, you know, the more skills I have, you know, it's just like when I started out with health, you know, one of the reasons why I started, you know, working on health and learning about health was because I was fearful. I was fearful. I was fearful of disease. You know, I was fearful of watching people around me die. I was so fearful. And the antidote to your fear is education. It
absolutely.
is absolutely education. If you are going to spend 50 days with Jason out there learning how to live, you know, you're not going to fear much after that, are you, Jason?
No, not really. Yeah, you definitely, it makes you comfortable. You realize that you don't need all these modern technologies that everybody is so reliant on. I'm sure we love our creature comforts, but if you learn these skills and you strengthen your mind, you realize that you don't need all this stuff. And if they should all go away, you have, we'll call them primitive skills, to fall back onto. And we don't just teach primitive skills. We teach modern modern skills, but you have all these other skills to fall back onto, and you've got that mental strengthening that's going to push you through a bad situation.
Yeah. And that's, I can't even think of a dollar value that I could put on that, just that peace of mind and having that education that you can support yourself, that you can sustain your own living. I don't think there's a dollar value for that. Head over to thesurvivaluniversity.com. And I want to say, Jason is going to be joining us at the Naturally Inspired Health Summit. He has a vendor booth there, so you'll be able to meet him in person. And that's an awesome thing. He's part of our community, and we hope to have him on more as a reoccurring guest because we know you want this information. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jason.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening and watching today's show. We aren't here to tell you what to think, but to inspire and empower you to do your own thinking for better life results. We are being shadow banned, censored, canceled, and deleted simply for sharing our message. Go to contacttammy.com and always stay connected with us. At contacttammy.com, sign up for our latest report on health, freedom, and organic lifestyle. Text the word health to 833-838-1020 and get free access to our community and a chance to win free merchandise and products. Send me a quick message and become a supporter. There are many options available, and you will have a direct impact on keeping independent media healthy and growing. Go to contacttammy.com and let's stay connected.